Hello and welcome back to another LED head torch review. Today I'm looking at the R3 LED light. This is one of a number of bargain basement eBay head torches. You can see a listing here. Prices start for the actual model that I'm looking at from around about £1.50 up to just under £2. They come in a variety of different colours and sometimes you get different headbands as well. Now moving in a bit closer, looking at the head torch, we can see here we have the grey version with the orange silicone button at the top. The build on this actually isn't too bad considering the super cheap price. It doesn't feel too flimsy, it doesn't quite have the density of more expensive torches that I've used, or head torches. You see a single LED and two red ones on the side. You flip this open and it takes 3 AAA batteries. Note there is a weather resistance seal on the left hand side compartment there, so that should keep out moisture. It's rated to IPX5 on the listing, so that should keep out rain, but it's not submersible in water. Once you've fitted them, shut it up, and we can also flip out the back section. There are a total of 4 positions for this, although the bottom one is kind of a halfway house. It doesn't quite click in, perhaps not unexpected for the price. Looking at the strap, it's actually not too bad. It doesn't quite have the thickness of some of the more expensive head torches, but it seems good enough to do the job. Don't really have any obvious complaints on that side of things. You also have the adjuster on it to fit your particular head size. Now operation on this is very straightforward. Single presses. One press will take you to the full power output. Next one will step it down a bit, and then you can move on to the red LED, twin LEDs on this, static, and then another press is flashing. There's no long presses or multiple presses, and then another press is off. So I thought I'd compare this to the Olight H05S, which is a premium LED head torch. They both run off of AAA batteries. The Olight runs off of 2 cells instead of the 3. You can see here the Olight is a bit smaller than this particular model. The finishing is also obviously, as expected, somewhat better. Outside I'm just doing a beam shot test. This is the R3, the whiter LED, and moving to the Olight is a more yellow appearance, although the colour balance will correct itself. It is a warmer light. You can see the spread on the Olight is much wider and more diffused, and it's a bit more concentrated with the R3. This is a shot that I've done about 35 feet away. We're on the R3 first of all, and now I'm switching to the Olight. You can see that the coverage is quite different between these two head torches. And I'm going to do a quick shot here at closer range, starting again with the R3 and then moving over to the Olight. Very easy to tell when I have the Olight on. You have a warmer cast to the image. And back to the R3. At close range, the power output's not bad on the cheap one. I'm now doing a longer range shot. I've used this same position for all of my torch reviews and headlights and head torches, so you can compare the differences between them. This is at full power. Now you can see just about down at the bottom of the garden, but it is quite a narrow beam pattern with this. There is some peripheral light around it, which is a bit more obvious than the camera shows up. It doesn't have a big spread on this particular model. Now I'm going to move on to the Olight. You can immediately see quite a difference. It's a much wider distribution of light, and you'll also get more intensity in a large area in the middle. So the power output in the Olight is rated at 200 lumens, and that drops down to around about 120 after 10 minutes very gradually. Judging on that, I would say that the output of the R3 is probably around about the 90 to 100 lumen mark. So they're quite heavily overstating that. This is the shot inside that I've done, about 7 or 8 foot away with the red LEDs. They're actually pretty good. They give you a decent range. There is a bit of outlining on the outside, but they're certainly usable for night vision. Okay, so a quick summary in the R3. This is just a very quick review and overall thoughts. Taking into account the super cheap price, it's not actually that bad. It's fairly decent. Build wise is quite acceptable for the price, and the red LEDs are also quite good. Downsides, the lumen rating is fantasy. I mean, you're not going to get 900 lumens or anywhere near that, not that I expected to, so knock a 0 off of that. And you also have a fairly narrow beam pattern, but if you need a whole bunch of head torches for not that much money, perhaps you're camping or in a group expedition or something like that, it's actually not a bad little head torch at all. It's certainly good enough to do the job. Doesn't have the best range and doesn't have the widest spread, but it's actually quite acceptable for such a bargain price.